we are building the Sports Heroes project from the YByte Python curriculum available at www.ybyte.in. In fact, we just saw how we can create a nice function called analyze, which will analyze any tournament data for us. In this case, Wimbledon and French Open. And post this function, we get several sets available to us. In fact, four sets. A set of players who have won the Wimbledon, a set of players who have won the French Open, a set of players who have won Wimbledon more than once, and a set of players who have won French Open more than once. Like I said, more analysis is possible. More such data can be taken out from this, let's say, raw data that was given. But for now, this is fine because this itself gives rise to many, many new questions. For example, if I just look at the set of players who have won Wimbledon and French Open, interesting questions come up. For instance, which of these players have won both Wimbledon and French Open? Which players have won either Wimbledon or French Open? Which have won only Wimbledon but not French Open? Or the reverse, only French Open, not Wimbledon? Which players have won either Wimbledon or French Open but not both? Basically, when we have two tournaments, there is more data available to us and more kind of questions can be answered. We will do this as part of what we call comparative analysis, and this will bring us face to face with several set methods. And these are really, really interesting questions that come up in many, many scenarios. In fact, such questions come up in a lot of practical scenarios. For example, while setting up a school timetable, you might want to know who are these students who have taken, let's say, physics but not chemistry, or let's say physics but not, let's say, economics, and physics and economics, and so on. Many such scenarios. We encounter these kind of questions also in mathematics using the set theory. So the very strong overlap between what we do in mathematics and what we are doing here in Python, and we will see this quite vividly as we move forward because we are using data which is quite close to, let's say, it's quite inspirational in nature, let's say Wimbledon and French Open winners. So I come into my code here and I define a new function called comparative analysis. Notice I'll just do it before this. So I just go and say, well, def say comparative, comparative say analysis. Comparative analysis. And for now, I'll just, let's say, put a pass here, and I will pass in two sets in this. Say winner, say set 1, and winner set, say, for example, 2. Now, the way I will call this function is, look, I have Wimbledon winners and the French Open winners. So I just go and call comparative analysis, for example, Wimbledon winners and say French Open winners. Now, obviously, right now, nothing will happen because I've just put a pass over here. But so once again, before wrapping this up, let's look at the Venn diagram representation because it's quite interesting. We have a huge set of all tennis players, out of which some have won Wimbledon and some have won French Open. It turns out that in this case, there's also an overlap, as we'll explore later. Some have won both Wimbledon and French Open. Now, again, the relative sizes here are not the important point. The important point is that these sets, Wimbledon winners and French Open winners, are completely subsets of the tennis player set, obviously, and the fact that there is an overlap between this, and that's what we're trying to represent, let's say, by putting these circles in an overlapping manner. This is what we are kind of going to explore further in the next few videos, but I hope you are finding this interesting. Like I said, as I said, this is very, very closely related to mathematics. When we learn set theory in mathematics, we encounter questions of similar nature, and many times Venn diagrams actually become a nice tool to solve them. As always, learning concepts with examples that we can relate to makes the concepts become much more lively and the entire learning process much more effective. That is what we do at YByte. Look at our website www.ybyte.in because we learn Python programming through such fun activities. Take care. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.